everyone, welcome to all. I am D. Srilata, working as Associate Professor in VVIT. Today in this session, I am going to explain about one of the network theorems, that is Norton's theorem. So in this session, one can be able to know what is Norton's theorem and how to apply this Norton's theorem to any given DC network. Now let us see the statement of this Norton's theorem. Norton's theorem states that any linear active bilateral DC network which is having several number of voltage and current sources with resistors. So a DC network which basically involves all DC sources and resistors, and such a given DC network across any two terminals of the given network, which can be replaced or which can be simplified into a simple equivalent network which is called Norton's equivalent circuit, where this Norton's equivalent circuit consists of a Norton's current source, where that Norton's current is represented with IN in parallel with Norton's resistance, and Norton's resistance is symbolically denoted with R suffix N. So this is the Norton's equivalent circuit. Means simply using this Norton's theorem, we can reduce any given complex network into a simple Norton's equivalent circuit with a simple Norton's current source and Norton's resistance. Now let us see the procedure for finding the Norton's equivalent circuit for any given DC network. Here basically this procedure involves two different main steps. One is finding the Norton's current and the other one is finding the Norton's resistance. Now let us see the procedure for finding Norton's current. Here, while determining this Norton's current, the first step is we have to identify the load resistance. Usually that is denoted with RL. If it is not given, the branch where we are going to finding the response, that branch is treated as load resistance. Now here after removing this load resistance, treat those two terminals as A and B, and after removing the load resistance, that path is short circuited. Means where we are removing the load resistance branch, after removing this we have to short circuit it. So after short circuiting the path across the two terminals A and B, means in the place of load resistance, whatever the current flowing through this short circuit is known as short circuit current or Norton's current. Using any known techniques like mesh analysis, nodal analysis, current division, voltage division, or using any known techniques, network reduction techniques, we should be able to find the Norton's current, which is nothing but the current flowing through the short circuit path. And next, after calculating this Norton's current, we need to calculate the Norton's resistance. Here this Norton's resistance is nothing but Thevenin's resistance. Usually Norton's resistance or Thevenin's resistance is calculated. First, load resistance has been removed. After removing the load resistance, we have to remove all the sources. Like if independent sources are there, we have to remove them. If dependent sources are there, we have to keep those dependent sources in the circuit. So how to remove these independent sources means, if voltage sources are there, we have to short circuit, and if current sources are there, we have to open circuit them. Simply voltage source is there, we have to represent it by short circuit, and if current source is there, we have to represent it by open circuit. So after representing or after removing all these voltage sources, we have to calculate the equivalent resistance across the terminals A and B, network terminals A and B. Means after removing all the sources, the network contains only the resistors. So since it seems to be a resistive network, so that equivalent resistance will be calculated between the two terminals A and B. So after calculating the equivalent resistance, we have to draw the Norton's equivalent circuit. We have to draw the Norton's equivalent circuit just by knowing the Norton's current and Norton's resistance. So here simply this is the actual network which can be simplified into a Norton's equivalent network, where Norton's current source in parallel with Norton's resistance, it seems to be Norton's equivalent circuit. Now, in order to find out the response through unknown, load resistive branch, whatever the load resistive branch which we have removed in order to draw the Norton's equivalent circuit, that branch has to be reconnected across the terminals A and B. Across the terminals A and B. Now, after reconnecting this branch, it seems to be a parallel circuit where IN is the Norton's current, total current, and that total current will be divided across the two parallel branches. Now, after dividing this total current, we have to calculate what is the division of two currents in the two branches. So, first of all, according to the current division rule, we can calculate what is the current flowing through RL and then RN. For example, if we want to calculate the current flowing through load resistance, that as IL, according to the current division rule, we have to calculate it as the total current should be multiplied by other branch resistance. Means here two branches are connected in parallel. For example, if you want to calculate the current through RL, we have to take other branch resistance, that is RN divided by RN plus RL, that is sum of the two resistances. Using this formula, we can calculate the load current, that is current flowing through the load resistive branch. So, in this way, we can apply Norton's theorem to any given network. So, let us see one numerical problem here. Let us see what is the problem here. This is a given network. In this network, we have to find the current flowing through 3 ohms resistive branch. Here, this is 3 ohms resistive branch. Now, we have to apply the Norton's theorem, and then we have to draw the Norton's equivalent circuit. Thereafter, we can find the current flowing through this load resistive branch. Now, we are treating this as load resistive branch. So, for that, let us follow the stepwise procedure. Under that, step 1 is, the first step is, we have to remove the load resistance branch. Here, I am removing the load resistance branch, where here is the load resistive branch I have removed, so it seems to be open circuit across the two terminals. Now I am going to find R Thevenin. Here this is determination of Norton's resistance. It's equal to Thevenin's resistance. So first step is, after removing the load resistance, in addition to that we have to remove all the sources. Here we have two voltage sources, one voltage source and here another voltage source. I am going to remove all these sources by short circuiting them, since voltage sources has to be short circuited in order to calculate the Norton's resistance, as we have seen in the procedure for drawing the Norton's equivalent circuit. So after short circuiting, we can see these two resistors both are connected across A and B, so hence those two are said to be in parallel. R1 and R2 are in parallel. Then Rn will be R1 R2 by R1 plus R2 from the parallel combination of resistors. So we got Rn as 0.857 ohms. Then after calculating this Norton's resistance, we have to go for Norton's current. The second step is Norton's current. Now let us see, here this source is supplying a current of I1 and this source is supplying a current of I2. So just directly I am going to calculate the Norton's current is equal to sum of these two currents. I1 is coming like this, I2 is coming like this. Then what is I1? I1 is V by R1. So V by R1, and I2 is V by R2. So V by R2. So 24 by 6 and plus 12 by 1, 16 amps. Otherwise, we can follow any technique. So simply here you can find the, you can apply here two loops are there. You can apply loop analysis. By solving those two loops, you can calculate I1 and I2. So using any one of the methods, you can find out the Norton's current. But our intention is we have to calculate the current flowing through the short circuit path where the load resistance branch is removed. So this is our Norton's current. Now we got this Norton's current as 16 amperes. So after calculating this Norton's current, let us draw the Norton's equivalent circuit, where this is Norton's equivalent current and this is Norton's resistance, which is connected across the two terminals A and B. After drawing the Norton's equivalent circuit, we have to connect whatever the load resistance branch which we have removed, because that is the element which where we are going to find out, we have to find the load current. So that's why it is treated as load resistance. So here this is our equivalent circuit across which I am going to connect the load resistance of 3 ohms. Now it seems to be a parallel circuit, already we have discussed. In order to current flowing through any one of the parallel branch, we use this formula as total current into other branch resistance by sum of total resistance. Here other branch resistance is RL, and in this branch RL we are going to find the current. So here we got IL as 16 into 0.857 by 0.857 plus 3. So finally I got load current as 3.55. So in this way we can apply this Norton's theorem to any network. Now let us see one more problem here. Find the current through 3 ohms resistor. Here in this problem, this is 3 ohms resistor. Now we need to treat this as load resistor. Now because we have to find out the current flowing through this branch as IL using Norton's theorem. So for that, once let us see this network. It consists of 4 resistive branches and 2 sources excluding load resistive branch. So this up to this network we have to simplify into this Norton's equivalent circuit, and again I am reconnecting this load resistive branch of 3 ohms. Now I need to calculate IN value and RN value. So for that, first I am going to determine Norton's current. So here in this network, in order to calculate this Norton's current, I am going to apply KCL at node 1 and node 2, and let this node 1 as node 1 voltage as V1 and node 2 voltage as V2. So I am applying KCL at node 1 and node 2 here. So let this as V1 node 1 voltage, and this as V2 node 2 voltage, V2 node 2 voltage. So I am applying KCL. All of you are familiar with KCL. So I am applying KCL at node 1. So since V1 is positive with respect to ground, this is ground, then we have 20 always current is flowing from positive to negative like this. We have 3 branches at node 1 like this. This is V1. V1 is positive with respect to ground. So always current is flowing from positive to negative. So like this, and here also positive to negative, and here also positive to negative. This is my assumed direction. So all are outgoing currents at this particular node. So I am writing current flowing through this branch as minus 20 plus V1, because it is negative, minus 20 plus V1 by 4, and through this branch V1 by 4, and next here it is connected between V1 and V2. So I am writing a voltage across that branch is V1 minus V2 by 2. So after simplifying this equation, we have V1 is equal to 5 plus V2 by 2. And then now apply KCL at node 3. Now apply KCL at node 2. So here this is our node. To this we have 3 branches connected, and the arrow direction of currents also shown. Why? Because V2 is positive with respect to ground. So here V2 is positive with respect to ground. So let us write the KCL equation at node 2. Since 2 ohms branch is connected between V2 and V1, so we have V2 minus V1 by 2, and 4 ohms branch is connected between V2 and ground, so V2 by 4, and it is both are outgoing current, so these two are outgoing currents and this is incoming current. So I am taking outgoing currents is equal to incoming currents. So after solving this, we have this equation, 3V2 minus 2V1 is equal to 8. Now let us substitute equation 1 in equation 2. So that is, instead of V1 I am substituting 5 plus V2 by 2. So after solving this, we have V2 is equal to 9 volts. So V2 is equal to 9 volts. So after calculating V2, once if you observe the given network, our short circuit path is like this. This is X, Y and V2. Now this 4 ohms branch. So here it is V2. Current flowing through this branch is its voltage V2 by impedance or resistance, sorry, since it is a DC, resistance. So current flowing through this branch is IN, then IN is equal to V2 by 4. So V2 by 4 is 9 by 2.4, it is equal to 2.25. And Norton's resistance is, in order to find this Norton's resistance, we have to remove all the sources. So here voltage source is there, I have short circuited, and current source is there, I have open circuited. And since we have only the resistors here, the current should be passing from, because we are calculating Norton's equivalent resistance across X and Y. So current should be enter like this and current should be leaving like this. So that's why I am going to take this 4 ohms. The same current will be flowing like this and this current will be divided. So hence these two are in parallel and that combination is in series with 2 ohms and 4 ohms. So 4 in parallel with 4 plus 2 plus 4. So it is 8 ohms. So after calculating Norton's resistance, we are going to draw the Norton's equivalent circuit, that is Norton's current in parallel with Norton's resistance, where Norton's resistance we got it as 8 ohms. So then after drawing the Norton's equivalent circuit, we have to reconnect the branch. Then IN will be, according to current division rule, total current is IN. So it is IL. 2.25 into other branch resistance by sum of the total resistance. So finally I have the load resistance as 1.636. So like this we can calculate the Norton's current and Norton's resistance. So simply we can apply this Norton's theorem to any DC networks. Thank you.